What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to a second episode of MoobsCast. This is a very different one. We're doing this live on Twitch TV. Hopefully the people that will be joining in with the conversation, hitting that follow button, hitting the sub button. Either way, welcome along to MoobsCast, episode 2. Reviewing Raw from Monday night, 4th of the 4th, 2016. Now, obviously, it's always been known as the best Raw of the year. It's the night after WrestleMania, and everybody, the crowd gets hyped. Even the people at home get hyped. You can feel the atmosphere coming through your television. It's absolutely fantastic. And like I say, it's usually one of the best ones of the year. You see returns, you see debuts, you see it all. And this week's Raw was no different. Wasn't as big returns as I was expecting, but it was still a very good, one of the surprises was awesome. And then the debuts, in my opinion, was absolutely fantastic. The crowd was amazing. It was an absolute epic show. I got a friend who was there who said it just got better and better. The fact that the crowd on the opening segment when Vince walked out was singing No Chance in Hell was absolutely out of this world. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. So anyway, let's start off. It was again live from Dallas, Texas, because that's where they are. Obviously, they're due to come over to the UK in I think it's maybe 10 days, something like that. They're due over here anytime anyway. We're looking forward to having them as always. But anyway, the show opened. Vince's music kicked in. The crowd goes wild. Vince McMahon walks out. Basically goes on about Undertaker beat Shane, blah, 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 blah. And then he came out with a comment on, I got a bit more respect for him when he climbed the top, but it also made, he takes risks and things like that. So he just states that, nothing's going to change. He's in charge. Shane signed over everything that he had on Vince and things like that. But either way, it was a case that Vince was sort of giving you a little bit of something. So anyway, just as Vince's ending, Shane's music kicks in, and he comes out onto the top and wants to shake Vince's hand. He says, I'll do it. Well played, man to man. Let me shake your hand and things like that. Crowd's going wild, chanting, "We want Shane," and let him have it. All that sort of stuff. So in the end, Vince decides, you know what? We're all saying, most of the websites and everything are saying it's a one-night thing, but he just said temporary. There's been no sort of time frame. He just says, you want Shane? I'll put him in charge for, temporary. So was it just for last Monday? Is the storyline going to be that Shane did a good job, so Vince is going to leave him in charge a bit longer? It could go either way, let's be honest about it. But anyway, it was a really good opening segment, to be fair. And it was good the way they did it. I mean, Shane looked pretty battered and bruised. I don't know if it's storyline or not, but I was reading the next morning, because I stayed up till 5 watching WrestleMania. And I decided to stay up, and I didn't watch all of Raw live. Probably watched the first hour and a half. I was still tired from the next night. I watched the rest the next day. But it was I was reading saying that Shane was in hospital, was doing fine, and things like that. I don't know if that's, is that WWE putting, things out there to try and get people thinking that Shane couldn't turn up. I don't know. I mean, he came out, limping, nice little shiner on the side of his head. So yeah, I suppose it's one of them things, really. WWE put out what they want to put out. They're not stupid. They know how to sort of keep people, going, oh, is Shane going to turn up tonight? Is Shane going to turn up tonight? But anyway, so we'll go on to the big stuff anyway first. I want to talk about Roman Reigns first. His reception from the fans was absolutely terrible. Honestly, you think people don't like John Cena? People chant Cena sucks. I've got to be honest, I don't think there was ever anything as loud as that as what John Cena got. John Cena got booed. He got, things thrown at him and things like that. There was pure hatred for Roman Reigns. Now, they was trying to say, oh, these fans boo the good guys and cheer the bad guys. So they were obviously trying to make it out that, look, they're going to boo Roman Reigns, but don't worry about it because, this is just what they do. Well, no, they generally didn't like Roman Reigns. And I've already said it myself. it's very unfair because I think Roman Reigns is a hard-working guy. He's not a bad guy. Yes, he's not the best wrestler, and I admit that, but he ain't that bad. You know, I think the fans are being a bit unfair to Roman, to be fair. But anyway, so he came out and did a promo. He got terrible reception. And he came out with, I'm not a bad guy. I'm not a good guy. I'm the guy. And all. I was like, right, okay. It was a bit not very nowadays promos. And he was basically showing that he's a fighting champion. And he was saying anybody who wants it, you know, that's fine. Come and get it now. Not like Cena. It's just the way I'm surmising. To which Y2J's music kicked in. It's like, really? Do you ever believe Y2J's ever going to be a champion again? But he had a bit of experience into what turned out to be the main event. Then we got AJ, who obviously the fans absolutely loved. It was one of them hair tingling right here moments where AJ comes out and the fans just go crazy for him. He was obviously then put into the match. Well, it turned out to be the match after, but that made 2. And then my boy's music hits. Mr. Kevin Owens, absolutely fantastic. Crowd went crazy for him. Came down limping again, you know, after the ladder match. And before he really got anything, we had an appearance from Sami Zayn, who it kind of got louder. Jericho's music hit, it went loud. AJ's music hit, it went louder. Owens hit, they went crazy. And Zayn's music hit, and the whole arena just completely erupted. It was like The Rock's music had just kicked in. It was absolutely huge. I was like, whoa, Zayn's got these fans. He's brought them. He's built the reputation in NXT, and it's like, wow, he's brought that entire buzz with him. And it was absolutely fantastic. To say he's not been there that long, it was absolutely fantastic. And I'm really, really pleased that the fans have like carried over with him, should I say. So anyway, Shane made it a fatal 4-way because it all burst into people fighting. Shane made it a fatal 4-way as the main event. And what a main event it was, but we'll come back to the main event later because I just wanted to touch on that bit. And then we'll go to talk about everything else, and we'll talk about the main event last off. But yeah, that was pretty epic. That was like number 1 for me. And we also had Charlotte receive the new women's title, and it was quite strange actually. It was like maybe that was the way they were doing it, but she came out and started the promo like a good. I was going to say good guy. Let's just say babyface. She came out and did it like a babyface. She was saying it was down to all the girls, this and that. The fans were chanting, you know, women's wrestling. And they were, you know, cheering Sasha. They were cheering all the divas. Well, I can't call them divas anymore because they're women now. But they were cheering all the women in the ring. They then started chanting for Bayley. To which, I don't know if anybody else saw it. If you did watch Raw, you saw Becky in the background just like go like that. You know, for like the 4 horsewomen thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if Bayley's not far away. Yeah. But anyway, she started off doing this promo basically, you know, I don't know if it's what she meant to do, but it really come across as a baby face. But then obviously she decided, right, let's do what I came here to do, and basically say it was all her. Sasha then walks out the ring. Becky was looking like she was going to smack her in the mouth, to which then she walked out the ring. Paige followed. Lana was last out. And then we're left with Natalya, who, you know, they've got all that female talent in the ring. I've got nothing against Natalya. She's awesome at what she does. But she's not really, you know, there's better out there, surely. You know, Paige is for one. Sasha, Becky, Lana started wrestling. I was a bit surprised they're using Natalya, but I suppose it'd be one of them, won't it? It's you know, the Flairs versus the Hearts, so it kind of, you know, made sense. I was just like, okay, fair enough. I just thought it was a better match they could have put her in. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it was really, really good. So yeah, but it was obviously Charlotte, you know, ain't gonna lose a title. Yeah, I mean, I still think she'll lose a title to Sasha, but I don't know. Becky had a really, really People who say wrestling is fake, this is for anybody who's watching this video say wrestling is fake, it's a load of crap, it's all set up. Right, let's get it straight. The storyline's scripted, everything else, everything is fake, and it's the only time you'll ever do it, because it's one thing I hate to say is wrestling is fake. Yes, we all know wrestling's fake, that's fine, but when you see, I saw photos of Sheamus years ago who had all these welts down his back, Shane McMahon with a black eye, and then you see Becky on Monday night with this massive, it was like a gravel cut bruise, you could see little bits, the scabs hanging off. How is that fake? That is not fake. Yes, the moves or the way they do things is fake, but the hurt is real. So you can call it fake all you like. What can actually happen to them is not fake. And that's just, and I will argue anybody who says, oh no, they know how to fall. Well, clearly not. They clearly don't know how to fall, because you've seen people with black eyes and busted legs and teeth missing. The Miz had a couple of teeth knocked out not so long ago that he had to have them done. So yes, the storylines are fake. You're absolutely right. The rivalries and things like that are all fake, but the damage is real. What can happen to these people is absolutely real. But anyway, Becky, it looked good for Becky either way. So yeah, it's going to see where that's going next. Is it going to be Sasha? Is it going to be Becky? Is it going to carry on being Natalya? I don't know. I don't think she'll be champion that long. I don't know if she'll lose it at Payback, but I think she'll lose it probably within the next 3 pay-per-views. I think she'll lose it. And then I'm just going down the list here, what I've got set up on my computer as things I want to talk about. I'm not doing it in structures at the minute, apart from main event last off. I'm not doing... I know I started with Vince, but I want to go in points that I've sort of written down. Excuse me. And then we had one debut. There wasn't a punch thrown. I thought there was going to be. But I have to be honest, I like them. And I know I've heard stuff they've been backstage for around about a month now. And I'm so glad they finally made their debut. Welcome to Monday Night Raw, Enzo and Cash. Absolutely epic promo against the Dudleys. And you can't teach that, is the only thing I can say about them. Yeah, I know the big guy Cass isn't probably much of a talker. Things I've seen, because I do try and watch NXT, but because I work a lot, I do tend to forget. That's why the podcast is always Monday Night Raw, because it's the one thing I don't ever miss. SmackDown's one of them that it's not as big as Raw, but I try and tune in and watch it as much as I can. And NXT, as much as I love it, and I really do love it, it's just sometimes getting time to sit down. When you consider I'm doing this now, I'm also doing the streaming with games and things like that, and I also work full time as well. But I am honestly, I do try and get into NXT as much as I can. But I'm a big fan of Enzo and Cash. I like what they do. I think more than anything, their promos is probably what's going to make them huge. Don't get me wrong, they are absolute quality in the ring, but their promos are just absolutely out of this world. They're probably one of the best tag teams for a long time. They can, their promos, at the end of the day, yes, we all love wrestling, but as Vince keeps saying, it ain't wrestling anymore. It's sports entertainment, and promos are more important now probably to most of the young lads than what there is in the ring. But we'll have to I think they'll be huge. I just hope they do it right. And I think against the Dudleys is probably the best way of starting them off. I don't think there's any other tag team. You couldn't put them against New Day or anything like that, but the Dudleys is the best way to break them in. But bada boom, they're here. Awesome. It was also great to see Apollo Cruz. I haven't seen that much of him, if I'm honest. What I have seen of him, I like. I can't say if I know if he's good at promos. He seems pretty decent in the ring. I can't say I've ever seen him do a promo. I can't think off the top of my head he's ever done a promo. I don't know if he'll I think he's going to have to put more work in than probably some of the others that's coming. Like Sami Zayn's got the following, so has Kevin Owens. So did this, who else am I thinking of that's come up from NXT? Tyler Breeze in a sense, but then he's kind of going... but I think Cruz is going to be the one that doesn't necessarily have the fan base that follows him, if he had any fan base. I don't know if he was huge in NXT. But I think Cruz is the one that's out. The whole lot that debuted on Monday night, I think Cruz is the big one. And then we also got to see Baron Corbin's first night on Raw after the Andre the Giant win. I said in episode number 1, I couldn't see Baron Corbin being that big. I don't know. There's something that just didn't feel right with Baron Corbin from everything I've seen of him. But I tell you what, he can fight a good fight. Him and Ziggler just look. They really, really suited each other. I was so impressed with that match. I thought Corbin looked fantastic, and I thought Ziggler made him look fantastic. So I was very impressed with Baron, and I'm going to be interested to see where he goes there. Am I missing anyone else from NXT? I don't think I am. Cruz, Corbin, Enzo, and Cash. I think that. I'm sure that was it. If I have missed anyone, we'll talk about them anyway. I've got it on front of me right here, so I'm going down my list anyway. Then we got to see the new IC champion, Mr. Zack Ryder, and I want to say what the fans was chanting, and you deserve it. And it was great to see Zack with a title around him. I thought it was a bit cheesy that he thanked his dad, but I suppose it's one of them, though, isn't it? That's the storyline they're going. Because if you have watched it and sees how it ends, the fact that Miz is now a 5-time IC champion, I was like, what? Why take the title off him the night after he's won it? You know, it's took him that long to get an IC title. You're just going to take it off him and give it to the Miz, who, you know, how many times does that guy want to be IC champion? You know, he's gone from being WWE champion with a, you know, winning it at, well, you know, having a WrestleMania moment and everything, to just going mid-card and fighting for the IC title all the time. How many times do you want to stick it on him? You might as well stick it on Goldust, because he's won it about as many times. But obviously, the fact that Miz's wife, Maurice, jumped over because Ziggler, Ryder's dad pushed him and then slaps Ryder's dad, obviously puts off Ryder, and the Miz wins it. But obviously, that's going to be the storyline. I understand why they've done it. I'm not, you know, like I said, you know, they took the title off him, but that's the fans' point of view. That's from going, no, don't take the title off Ryder. But from a storyline point of view, surely Ryder's going to come out on top anyway. They're going to give Ryder the title back at some point. Surely. They've got to give him the title back and let him have a proper run at it. So, yeah. What else have we got to talk about? Oh, I know what we needed to talk about. League of Nations versus Usos. Not Usos. League of Nations versus the New Day. The hottest tag team. Well, at the minute, because obviously Cash and Enzo's just coming out, you know. But anyway, title match, basic. New Day won it. Fantastic. Didn't want the titles taken off them anyway because they're just so hot, it's unreal. And then they take out our boy. So for any Englishman, anybody from Preston, which is where Wade's from, anybody who likes Wade Barrett, which we've all got a soft spot for him, but WWE's just like buried him, in my opinion. But then I'm biased because he's an English lad. It's the same with Neville. He's taken out because he's the weak link, and maybe that's it now for Barrett. I'd like to think he's going to get one more sort of run-in with somebody before he goes. But I have got this feeling that's probably the last we'll see of Wade Barrett. So if it is the last we've seen of Wade Barrett, Wade, you did everything you could. You was nearly huge. Be proud of everything you did in WWE. If you'd not got the injuries, like when you busted your arm, and in my opinion, you was getting close to that WWE run-in for the title. And it is a massive shame because I thought you was going to be the guy from the UK, from England, that would be the first ever, WWE. Well, it was WWE champion at the time, but either way, it's gutting that you didn't. But thank you for everything you've done. But as obviously they've taken Wade out, the lights go out, and they get approached is the nicest way of putting it. They get jumped basically by the Wyatts. Now, for me, everybody kept saying, is that the Wyatts face turn? Who knows? Maybe. Personally, I think they're tweeners. They're what I like to call tweeners. They go in between. They go between heel and babyface. They're here, which is great because that's what the Wyatts need to do. They need to prove they will take out anybody. Excuse me. Which is, you know, I wouldn't give them the League of Nations. Bray Wyatt's far superior than being in the ring with any of them three absolute retards. Like I said in my last one, Sheamus hasn't been relevant for probably 5 years, maybe even 6 years. Del Rio's boring as hell. Rusev's good, but what they're going to do with him, I just think it's a waste of talent using Bray Wyatt against them three. But we're going to see it. Hopefully Bray, that's going to be at least a feud that's going to start building Bray up now. They've got to start from somewhere. They've got to build Bray up. He can't keep losing feuds. It was like The Rock said on WrestleMania. He's got it. So use it. Vince, use it. Bray Wyatt's awesome. Use it. So yeah, I was really happy about that. And the fact that the fans were chanting, "Thank you, Wyatts," you know, that was just like some icing on the cake. I don't think there's really much else to talk about other than probably the main event, really, which was a good main event. Enjoyed it. But obviously, the main event that Shane created was Owens, Jericho, AJ, and Zayn. Now, they were doing promos with each of them through the night, and it came to Zayn's promo before the match started, and Owens basically kicked the crap out of him, put him through a table, basically kicked his ass. And that put Zayn out. So, they got the three in the ring, and Lillian Garcia comes on, who I want to talk about Lillian Garcia, actually, but we'll talk about that a bit later. So, she comes on and says, per orders of Shane McMahon, this is still going to be a fatal four-way, but replacing Sami Zayn, and her voice goes out. And we get the Monday Night Raw, it's not a debut, return of the Master, Cesaro. Now, we know he's been back. He's been on SmackDown. That's fine. But they always say if it don't happens on Monday Night Raw, it's not. It was like Randy Orton was coming. When he returned the last time, he'd been off camera, returning like after shows or house shows and things like that. But yet, when it came to Monday night and he finally returned, he's back in the WWE. Well, we knew he was back in WWE, but I like to say if it doesn't happen on Monday Night Raw, it hasn't happened yet. So either way, we got to see the Swiss Superman Cesaro. I like Cesaro. I don't think a lot of people say he should be, he should have a run as a WWE champion. My only problem with Cesaro is his mic work. I don't think he can cut promos like a WWE championship. But then the argument is can Roman Reigns? Is Roman Reigns really that good on the mat? I don't think he's awful. But I think with Cesaro's accent, it's going to hold him back. And I hate to say it because I want to see Cesaro more and more and more and more. I love to see him in main events and things. But I just think his accent's going to hold him down. And I hope it doesn't. But, I haven't heard him talk since he's come back. Maybe he's been and had, some acting lessons and things like that, which is probably what Cesaro needs. It's the same I said about Roman. He needed some acting lessons. Maybe he's had them. I honestly don't know. But it was great to see him anyway. It was great to have him back, and the fans went ballistic for him. The crowd was awesome all night. I don't think there was ever really a time that I can say the crowd went really sober. They just, even if they got bored of the match, they just carried on what they were doing. And that was fantastic. So yeah, that was great. And then he rips off the suit and just runs down to the ring. And then we have a fatal four-way. Absolutely fantastic match. Moves going galore. Everybody doing different things. Everybody doing what they do best. And then we get the outcome that really put a smile on my little brother's face. I say little brother. He's like 30 this year. In fact, no, he's not. He's 29 this year. So I apologise for that, Craig. I'm making you older than what you are. But my little brother's a huge AJ Styles fan. He has been for years. when AJ made his debut in WWE, there's a little tear in his eye because he was so happy to see him. And also we've got some news on people from TNA coming as well, and I'll mention that straight after this. But yeah, AJ Styles becomes the #1 contender for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Yes, he lost to Jericho at Mania, and he shouldn't have, in my opinion, because I don't see the point in it, but it was still fantastic. Now, here's the question on everybody's lips, and if you're not asking this, why are you not asking this? Is this going to be the start of the Bullet Club coming in? Because we know for a fact that WWE signed them all up. You've got Balor there, you've got the Balor Club / Bullet Club, whichever way you want to call it. Is this now? Who's going to be the heel? Is AJ? Are they both going to be faces? Or are they going to leave? Are they going to turn Roman heel? Or are they going to keep Roman as a tweener? Or is AJ going heel and they're bringing the Bullet Club in, which would absolutely, that would be the big thing for WWE. It's exactly what they need is the Bullet Club. They need Nakamura. They need them all. They need them all. But it's what's going to happen now with AJ. To put him as #1 contender, what are they going to do? Are they going to debut? And if so, when are they going to debut? So fingers crossed, we are hopefully on the verge of seeing the Bullet Club or the Balor Club, whatever. But as I just said with news with TNA, with ex-TNA, if you haven't seen on websites, Bobby Roode has officially signed with WWE and he will be going in NXT, or as far as I believe he's going in NXT. Fantastic news. Bobby Roode, I watched him as a tag team with James Storm when they were Beer Money, and I liked him then, and I never thought Bobby could make it on his own, if I'm honest. I thought Bobby was going to be the half of the tag team that James Storm could do the better stuff, and Roode would end up disappearing. But you know what? Bobby Roode made it as a solo wrestler. He's done great. Okay, he's done it for a little company and, he took some flack and things like that. But Bobby Roode definitely did fantastic. And I really, really hope WWE, really help him and really get him up. Because I think Bobby Roode on the main roster, I don't know if he'd ever be the main #1 guy for WWE. But I think he could go on and do some special stuff, even mid-card. So that was fantastic to see him as well. So, yeah, that is Monday Night Raw with a little bit of extra going. Oh, Lillian Garcia, here's a question for you. I don't know if anybody else seen it. I didn't see it at first. I kind of saw the end of it the second time I watched it. I was reading an article that was saying that when Ryder came out, because originally he was coming out to do a promo. We didn't know The Miz was coming out and fighting him, as far as I'm aware. I don't think we did anyway. But Lillian Garcia apparently started introducing Zack Ryder, and the article that I read is that one of the ring guys, or one of the guys behind the scenes, was banging on the ring and going, "Shut up, shut up!" And apparently, her and this guy had a full blown argument. As she, so she shut up talking. If you watch it back again, Lillian starts talking and introducing Zack, and then she just disappears. And apparently, she was introducing him. And I don't think she was supposed to. And apparently this stagehand was thumping on the ring, telling her to cut, shut your mouth and all this stuff. And they had a full-blown argument. So if anybody has that clip or sees it, then point it out to me. Send it me on Twitter. Let me have a look. Because, like I said, I saw a little bit of something, but I don't know if it was that. So if anybody was at the show who's got a mobile phone recording and wants to share it, send it me on Twitter. I'd love to see it. I'd absolutely love to see it. Anyway, I think that's about us covered for this week. So all that's left to say, as I always do, is thank you very much for watching. This is episode number 2 of MoobsCast. The episode number 1 did fantastic. I'm really proud of what happened with regards to the first episode. So for everybody who has watched it, thank you very much. Please, please, please don't forget to like this video and don't forget to subscribe. Let's see if I can get this right this week. Okay, so I am available on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch TV, which I'm live on right now, and YouTube. Don't forget to check me out on all them guys. On YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, I am Moobs Like Jabber. On Twitch TV, I am Moobs Like Jabber Xbox One. If this is as popular as as I'm hoping, we'll keep doing live. We are live doing this now because I want to see
We've got a few new people in the channel, which is fantastic, and hopefully they're going to hit that follow button and support us every way they can. So if this turns out to be popular, maybe we'll do some more live ones. This was just a tester. But anyway, if you have anything to say about WWE, don't forget to comment in the comments box. Also, like I told you on the first one, and like the scroll that's been above my head most of the show's been saying, I want WWE fans to join in. My idea is to have me talking to a fan. If you are interested in being on MoobsCast and you want to talk to me, we'll go back and forth between me and you talking about highlights, lowlights and things like that. You've got to follow me on Twitter. You've got to follow me on YouTube. Once you've done that, direct message me on Twitter and say, I'd like to be on the next show of MoobsCast. And I will message you back and we will arrange a date and time after, obviously, Raw. And we'll sit and we'll talk about it. So if you want to be on YouTube, you want to get your face or your voice on YouTube and you want to get involved with me, you are more than welcome. As I said before, this podcast is by a fan, for the fans, and with the fans. You are always more than welcome to come along and join. But anyway, thank you very much for watching this. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the sub button. And I will see you all soon. Thank you very much.